So I'm Colonel Dan Tully. This is our command chief, Matt Lusson. We're going to spend tonight hearing your concerns. This is all about hearing the concerns of the spouses in our community. So there are a lot of spouses online via Facebook, we hope. This is the first for us, so we'll see how this goes. But a couple of points to make. You know, there are folks deployed from the 6th Air Mobility Wing right now downrange. We have a few hundred out there. There are folks from Central Command, Special Operations Command, people from MacDill Air Force Base. They're out there supporting what's going on in the Central Command AOR. And it's because of folks like you at home, the spouses and the family members, that they're able to do that. So thank you for your service. Thank you for all the support that you provide your military member or your civilian, whoever it may be, who works in one of the organizations here on the base. And we really want to hear what we can help you with here tonight. So we need your feedback. This is meant to be inclusive. It's not just for Air Force families, not just for CENTCOM or the Wing or SOCOM. There's 38 tenants here on MacDill Air Force Base. A lot of folks don't realize that, so I can't say this clearly enough. This is inclusive. This is meant for everyone who has anything to do with MacDill Air Force Base, their spouses. This is how we can hopefully empower you. So with that, Chief, would you like to say a couple of words?
Absolutely. Is this thing on? Okay, it is. Chief Master Sergeant Matt Lusson, as Colonel Briere said, my wife Tiffany is in the audience as well. You know, as the boss said, we have a tremendous monster here at MacDill with 2 huge COCOMs, 36 other mission partners, but we couldn't do anything without working as a team. So we truly relish and we want your feedback this evening. Obviously, the spouses of the base, you sacrifice on a daily basis, just as much, if not more, than your service member does. And at the same time, you probably utilize a lot of our services on a daily basis more than we as the military members do. So your feedback is important to us to help us identify where we may have weaknesses, where we have strengths, and hopefully with those weaknesses that you identify this evening, we're able to work on those, improve on those, and get you answers in a timely manner. So we look forward to everyone's participation this evening. Hopefully we do have quite a few on via Facebook as well. And at the end of the evening, if there's ways we can improve this method of communication, and if you guys have ideas on that, please, by all means, pass that along to us. But I look forward to the interaction with you this evening.
Good deal. Thanks, Chief. So my lovely wife, Holly, is here. Our 2 girls, we didn't bring them, Emma and Annie. They're 8 and 10 years old. We're pretty normal folks. We've got a dog named Hank, a cat named Joe. Not so sure about that cat. But we have had complaints and issues throughout our career, just like you guys do. So it is important that you guys let us know. And I think what you'll find is different about this format is, you know, you come to one of these, if you have an hour, typically you might get, on a good night, 30 questions out there and answered. On a bad night, maybe 5. Maybe somebody likes to talk an awful lot. So our intent here is to move through things as rapidly as possible, not cover the same ground. But you'll see through the use of this polling software, from Poll Everywhere, every concern can be heard. So whether you're out there listening via Facebook or you're here in the room, there's an opportunity to text us, here's what my issue is, here's what I'm seeing. And I promise you, we will read all of those. We'll get you feedback back within 3 business days, depending on how much data we get. All right? So we'll start off with some demographic information here. I guess there's 2 slides like that. And a picture of the president, because we had a great visit last week. I didn't see that coming. All right, so the first question here is just to capture our audience. I'm participating from. And so this will give you an idea how this works as well. So the address that you're texting to is that 22333. Think of it as the phone number you're texting to. And then if you're online, enter the bottom code. If you're here in the Davis Conference Center, enter that top code. And this usually takes like up to 30 seconds or so for it to start working. You'll start to see the responses coming in, hopefully. It works 99% of the time. There we go. All right, so you'll see the numbers across the bottom grow larger. That'll be the total number of folks responding. This will be the true test to see how many folks are out there in Facebook land. And even after the slide goes off the screen and we're talking about a different topic, you'll be able to see that your responses are still registered and keep coming in. And if If we get less than 20, that just says we don't have that many things to fix. So hopefully we can knock those out tonight. So we've got at least one Facebook viewer out there. If there's anybody who feels like they're up on Facebook but they're not being heard, please let us know. Type a message or something on the Facebook page. That's all right. All right. So we've got 16 people. 17. All right. This will be great because then you guys get all of our attention. All right. I'm going to go to the next one here. My spouse serves with, and you can see the categories here, 6th Air Mobility Wing, Central Command, Special Operations Command, one of our other Team MacDill mission partners, and then from time to time they're very active retiree spouses. So we put my spouse is retired from active duty as one of the options. The reason we use this breakout, the vast majority of folks on this installation, the 10,000 who come to work here every day, are in those top 3 categories. It looks like most folks here from the 6th Air Mobility Wing, some representation from CENTCOM, our other partners, and one from SOCOM. It wouldn't surprise me if the numbers start to increase with each question, so you can figure it out. All right. Like I said, the responses will continue to be registered as we go, so don't hesitate to continue to send stuff in. All right, so where you live. Here on MacDill Air Force Base, East Hillsborough County, and by that we mean all of East Hillsborough, Brandon, Valrico, Fishhawk, Riverview. A lot of folks in South Tampa. Maybe you're here from Pinellas County, or someplace we have not even thought of. All right, good deal. Most base residents. I would figure that's the case for the folks here in the DCC. And there's one out there on Facebook. We'll see. All right, so let's get to the meat of this. If I could fix one area where the base supports my family, it would be, and if you could, give us a clue as to how we might be able to fix it. This one's a little bit different because you are texting your message to that number up there. 22333. You enter the code, and then a space, and then your message. And I'm sure everyone will be respectful and dignified in their responses. I know I don't have to say that with this group. You bet. So the number you're texting to is the 22333. Then you're going to put in 104-1538, a space, and anything after that will appear as your response. I swear to you, it's not rigged. We're not censoring it and taking the responses we don't like. Grounds maintenance and bug control. So since we've got an audience this size and we've got the mission support group commander here, Pete, could you maybe take a shot at addressing that while the rest of the responses come in?
Absolutely, boss. So yes, my kids have been eaten by lots of fire ants. So there are. With the amount of rain that we've incurred this summer and the beginning of the fall, there's a ton of ants. We had them in our house. We have them out in the parks, and our partner Harbor Bay has done a lot to try to take care of the fire ant problem. They've gone through a few different methods to try to rid the base, or at least housing in particular, and the parks area to get those eliminated. The other aspect of the large amount of rain that we have are the mosquito infestation that we've had. Again, it was compounded because the fountains were not working, so all of those fountains got replaced as well. They treated the ponds for, Aaron, was it like an anti-larvae pesticide?
Yes, sir. It's a larvicide in all the ponds.
Right. And also we brought in the fog truck to get rid of the mosquitoes on base. Now it's a little bit different to bring the fog truck into housing. For that to occur, we actually need housing residents to call in, and based on the amount of calls that they get, they'll send out the fog truck. So Monica, my wife, has it to call every other day. So when it's really bad, because it was very bad, and we acknowledge that. So we just need to continue to stay on top of that.
Just
yes.
to add to that,
go ahead,
sir.
Aaron. Tell them the number that they can call for that.
Absolutely. 813-840-2000, the maintenance housing number. We've also just signed a contract with our pest control company to do a blanketed treatment for fire ants across all of housing, to include parks, dog parks, and 50-foot around all homes, baseball fields, and soccer fields.
Good deal. I know our kids are eaten by mosquitoes a lot, and so Pete and I have talked about that. But is this mosquito spraying, is that reactive? You know, we wait until there's complaints and then we spray, or is it proactive? We know that there's going to be a ton of them, so.
It's a little reactive in the housing area. We try to spray it on base, but again, that's a reaction as well. It's tough with all the rain. You can fog, but then with all the rain, it's not as effective. So Bob
actually,
has.
It's regulated by the county, sir. So we are unable to spray for mosquitoes or make the calls. So it has to come in from the residents. You know, we call them as often as we can, but we encourage our residents to call.
Okay. All right. Thanks. So let's take a look at some of the issues that are being raised up here. Routine maintenance and housing be completed regularly and without the resident having to request it. Not sure what that's getting at. But there were a couple of, I saw things dealing with Harbor Bay. Kelly and team, have you guys been looking at these? Anything that you want to speak to specifically?
Answering service.
Yes, answering service, we have seen that in our CL surveys. We just got those back recently. Answering service, we did add 2 more lines. Actually, I'm sorry, not as of yet. Next week we'll be adding 2 more lines. All of our calls are answered 24/7. If it's not by us, it's by an answering service. Any emergencies absolutely come straight to us at any time of the day or night. And, you know, all other routine maintenance is emailed to us if we don't answer the phone. So we try to make a point to, we have a 48-hour on average response time to all these kinds of things. So.
All right. And I know, so this is feedback for all of us, so thank you for all these inputs, because I know that Harbor Bay sends out surveys and whatnot, and we're forever asking for inputs, but this is yet another great source of information, so thanks. And there's probably a lot of stuff that we can take action on and make improvements. What would you guys most like to hear us talk to on this list of topics? Folks here in the room, anything in particular? We're going to get to medical for the next question, so I'm going to hold that one. I know that'll be a crowd pleaser.
The dog parks, we do have 4 dog parks on base in housing. I saw that on there. They actually get sprayed quarterly for fleas, and they're irrigated.
Is there anything that can be done? So there was a Facebook complaint about the spurs in the grass. I'm not even sure what that is. Is that?
Yes, sir. It's a sand spur. It unfortunately is indigenous to the area. It